Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Real Talk Journeys of Resilience and Success. And today we are on episode 56. And today our topic for today is from overwhelmed mom to digital mentor. So, Catherine's story of faith, freedom, and growth. And our guest is Catherine Ohimain. So, she will be joining us in a few minutes. But before we dive into our topic, let me introduce myself. Just give me a sec here. Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but currently residing in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor. I also want to remind everyone that every Tuesdays and every Thursdays we have our live webinar. So if you want to learn how to start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is just register into my website that appears on the screen with your name and email address, and I'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. So when you register into my website, you will receive an email that will contain two links. So the first one is to register to the live webinar. That one will take you to a page that will have two buttons, so you can register for um, one button is for Tuesday, button is for Thursday, so you can register for either one or for both. And our live webinars happen every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. So the second link that you get there is the link to the replay of the live webinar. So just in case you cannot attend to the replay, to the live webinar, you can catch the replay and then watch it from the comfort of your own home. In addition to that, I also invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so what am I going to find out on the webinar? So on the webinar, you're going to find out how our online business plan works, and also you get to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. So let's find out who were the hosts and panelists from this past Tuesday, actually, from this past Tuesday live webinar. So if you want to catch the replay before tomorrow's live webinar, these were the hosts and panelists. All right, so our host was Jacqueline. She's a retired critical care nurse. And our first panelist is Regina. She's a former mental health care worker. We also have Madonna, a registered nurse. We have Sukhbir, operations manager. We have Rosaline, she's a chef. Aisha, she's a stay-at-home mom. We have Jenny, a registered pharmacy technician. And we have Amalie, a certified public accountant. So as you see, we have all different walks of life, but they all have something in common, and that is they took the leap of faith, to change their life and their family's lives. So if you are catching the replay before tomorrow's live webinar, our replays has subtitles in several languages, and our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages: the Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. So there you go. So now you know, if you want to learn how to start your online business, all you have to do is just register into that website with your name and email address, and I'll send you that information to watch the webinar. So again, so let's go back to our topic for today. So like we mentioned, we are on episode 56, and our topic for today is from overwhelmed mom to digital mentor. So we are on episode 56. So Catherine's story of faith, freedom, and growth. And our guest is Catherine Ohimain. But before I bring her in, let me introduce her to you guys. So I'm so excited to welcome today's guest, Catherine Ohimain. She's a proud Nigerian mom of 3 living in Australia and a passionate digital business mentor. Catherine's journey into the online space began just 15 months ago, driven by a simple but powerful desire to be present for her family while building something meaningful for herself. Like many moms, she was juggling work, motherhood, and feeling stretched too thin. With no tech background, just a phone, Wi Fi, and a willingness to learn, she took the leap. So today, she's helping others do the same, proving that with the right mindset and support, you can truly build a life of purpose and freedom. So get ready to be inspired by her story. So let's bring Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here, Sandy.
So, the pleasure is mine to have you here. So I know I did a little bit of introduction about yourself, but do you have something else that you want to add so they get to know you a little bit more?
Yeah, like you said, my name is Catherine Ohimain. Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here today. I'm originally from Nigeria. I'm a mom of three amazing kids. I live in Australia. And yes, I've been running this business full time for the past 15 months. It's been an amazing journey. And I'm so excited to be here with you today to share my journey.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let's dive into the questions. Okay, so first question for you. So, Catherine, as a Nigerian mom of three now living in Australia, what was the moment that made you say something has to change? I need more time for my family. And how did I lead you to the digital space?
Thank you so much, Sandy. We as immigrants living abroad, we all have a common struggle
Mhm,
how to navigate work and balance family life. We don't have, it's not like being back home where we have that family support, parental support. You can take your kids to their grandparents and you work. Yeah. So for me, I got to that point in my career where something had to change, right? Because we were juggling, I and my husband were juggling working and being present for the kids. And it's normal when when someone has to make the sacrifice, who. Yeah, so I needed to be present for my kids. So I had to stop working and I was home for some months. Of course, you know how it comes. You as a woman, I believe every woman have their dreams and aspiration, but it gets to a point where you have to now put that somewhere behind you so you can be there to raise your kids because raising a family is also part of your aspiration and nobody wants to miss out on their um, kids milestones, even though a lot of times we end up missing out unintentionally. So I got to that point where I had to intentionally say, okay, you know what, I'm done juggling work and childcare and all of it. I want to be fully present for my kids.
mhm,
So I stepped back from my job and became a full-time stay-at-home mom. And that was what led me to the digital space. We all use social media, we scroll for hours, just scrolling and scrolling. You say, I just want to spend 5 minutes on Instagram, and then you end up 3 hours later, you're still scrolling. And guess what? While you're scrolling and watching other people's content and you think you're being entertained, but they are getting paid, right? And then I kept seeing these ads popping up, talking about digital marketing and all. I've been seeing it, to be honest, I've been seeing it before I stopped working. But you know how comfort zone can keep you in a comfortable
mhm,
place. Yeah, but at that time in my life where I knew something had to change, I needed to find something to do, something that allows me to be able to be present for my kids. And that was when I took that leap of faith. I said, okay, let me check it out. I've been saying this thing. If you see it once or twice, it can be a coincidence. But when it keeps coming to you, it just might be a sign
mhm.
that this is what you need. So I checked it out and that was the turning point for me, to be honest. Yeah. I realized, okay, so I can actually I already have this gadget, so I can actually build myself to become something better and meaningful, to be present for my kids and still be able to earn online. That was my turning point, to be honest. And yeah, I have no regrets whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, and I think a lot of parents, and a lot of immigrant parents will relate to your story. I came here to Canada, as an immigrant with my parents. And I know what you mean by not having the family support. It was just, my parents and the three kids, which I was one of them. And yeah, we didn't have anybody. So it's hard when you don't have someone to be able to watch your kids, while you are at work.
Mm.
Your you have those struggles, and like daycare is very expensive. It's not like it's very expensive, and like again you mentioned, while you're working, you get to miss those milestones from the kids. And like you mentioned, you didn't want it to be able to miss any more those milestones, so you wanted to be fully present with your kids. And that's one of the reasons, they make you look for something, because like being a mom and being fully present is one of your milestones to be,
Yeah.
but you also wanted to do something else for yourself. And I had another guest that also was saying that, like in her case, she's in her later years. And she has been taking care of her kids, and then her others nephews kids. um but like at the end, like she was feeling like she was missing something, like she lost herself along the way. So I do understand what you mean by, like, yeah, you want to be fully present for your kids, but you want to be able to do something for yourself too, because like now you're not working, so you want to be that you're be having a purpose,
True.
that you're doing. So um so you see that, you found this, that you found this ad before you left your job. um, and that was the same thing for me, like I saw the ad so many times, different ads from members of the community, but it didn't, like I always pass. And I don't know, for some reason this one I saw it, and something told me, just watch it, you got nothing to lose. So I did, and then that's, like it checked all the boxes that I was looking for in this business. Um, so I do relate to that to you. You also mentioned about, yeah, yes, I relate to you about the comfort zone. Like you knew that you have to find something, but you kept working, and that was the same for me, like I found, like 5 years before I found this opportunity. um, I saw the on YouTube, the digital nomads, and I say like I want to have that kind of lifestyle, the way that I can travel and take my business with me. But I didn't know how to do it, and then like you, I kept working. So 5 years passed, and then there was a setback in my industry in 2023. That's when I started my journey, and that made me, to look for something, because there's something like that happened, back in 2004 for me. But I was young, now I'm older, have a different perspective in life, so when I found this online opportunity, it checked all the boxes, and it was what I was looking for 5 years ago. So like you, when if something is meant to be, it will pop up and you will see it. So that's
Yeah.
what you did. um, so yeah, so thank you for sharing that. Yeah, a lot of people will relate to your story. Yeah, we have friends here from the community also. You guys decided to one sacrifice, their job to be present for the kids. But I had like I've seen other examples in our community where their case was, like one will stay with the kid while the other one will work, and then when the other one come, the other one will leave. So until one of the kids say, "Mom, how come when you come, dad is
I
leaving," and then
know.
the same, like vice versa. So she always was asking her mom that question until her mom say, "No, I gotta do something, because we cannot keep going this way." Because there was only, one parent present with them, not the
Yes.
two of them together. So yeah, so thank you for sharing that. Okay, so second question for you. So you started this journey 15 months ago with no tech background, just a phone, Wi-Fi, and a willingness to learn. For anyone watching who feels unqualified or afraid to try, what helped you believe this was possible for you?
Wow. I didn't need anybody to convince me. Seeing real people in our community run this business and run this business, whether as full time or as a side hustle, and are thriving, I said to myself, what am I sleep? Why am I sleeping on the opportunity? I mean, they're not any different from me. I had my fears, I had my skepticism, I had my worries. Fear is normal. And everybody has this, we all go through this phase in life where we feel unqualified, we feel like we're not good enough. Oh, what will people say? Is anybody going to judge me? Will what I'm saying make sense? Will they accept it? Look, all of those things are normal, but they are inconsequential. If you want to build your life, you want to build a dream, that dream that is yours, not somebody else's dream, you've got to believe in your own self. Yes, so seeing other people do it, and I'm seeing their success, and a lot of people don't know what is obtainable in the digital space. So when you see results, it seems like a mirage. It seems like it's not real. It's too good to be true. But guess what? It is real. And we're all real people. Nobody has two heads. I didn't know anything in trust me, I was not technically inclined. I didn't know how to use, basic things I could do, but not the kind of things that I do today. But thank God to this amazing platform that has all the video-based trainings and mentorship and guidance and the beautiful community that we have. Everybody is always there willing to teach you. That was how I learned. So trust me, if you want to do this, you might be watching and you're feeling like, oh, maybe I don't know how to talk like Catherine or Sandy, oh, maybe this is not for me. There is no opportunity out there that is meant for a particular set of people. You have to determine whether you're going to come in and take a piece of this pie. It is available to everyone. And as long as you believe in yourself, you do not need anybody to believe in you. If you believe in yourself alone, that is good enough to get you to your place of rest. That is good enough to help you achieve your dreams. So all I needed was my phone. I already had a phone. I was busy scrolling and watching other people. I already have internet, you know. So it's not like I was being asked to go and get a physical store. I already have everything. All I needed was the right mindset. And that was when I had to sit down. I had my own come to Jesus moment with myself where I needed to tell myself that if this is working for other people, I'm going to make it work for me. Regardless of what anybody thinks, regardless of, I'm not perfect, I'm not trying to be perfect, but I am going to work towards becoming a better version of who I want to be because I'm not in a competition with anybody. So I had to retrain my mindset to believe in my dreams and chase it. And that is what has led me to where I am today.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I totally agree with you. When you say fear is normal, and that is true. Fear is that thin line that it makes you push you to become better, to keep growing, to reach success, Um, a good example of this is, like I work in the movie industry, but I don't like to be in front of the camera. I'm actually an introvert, shy person. But, when I started this journey, I knew that the only way that I could connect with the audience was doing lives, showing my face, being present. So that's how I started. I started recording myself first, to be able to overcome that fear or self-doubt that I had inside of me, and then after that, I was able to press that go live button. But and like doing lives, you practice, and then you start building that confidence to be in front of the
Momentum,
camera.
true.
But once in a while, out of the blue, that fear will pop up, and then I will feel it like the first time. But then I will say to myself, it's okay, just do it. And then as I start doing it, that fear starts to disappear, and then it disappears. But yeah, fear never goes away. It's there to push you to keep growing. So
True.
don't let that hold you back. And I love the other thing that you mentioned about the self-doubts. Yeah, we sometimes, we tend to think, like, oh, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this, or like, oh, what people are gonna think about what I'm doing. Yeah, you have to put those ones aside, and then just believe in yourself, believe in the business what you're doing, and believe in your journey, and you'll be fine. Um, that's the most important, because we can believe in yourself, but at the end of the day, you're the one who needs to believe in yourself mostly. Yeah. So start start believing in yourself. So I like that advice that you gave. um what else you say? Yeah, I love the fact that you say, it looks like too good to be true. Yeah. Same thing, like I was eager to start this journey, because I saw the potential of this business. But yeah, at the same time, I saw on our Facebook, private Facebook group, the members of our community, how much are they making. I was like, oh my god, that sounds too good to be true. But that's normal, because we don't understand how it works. But now that we're inside, we know how it works. But it is feasible. This is a business that it's scalable. Start small, but it keeps growing. That's why a lot of people start this business on the side, as a side hustle or plan B, planning to make only like 500 to maybe 1,000, $5,000 on the side. But what happened is, once they're inside, they realize that their potential is even more than that, that this plan B turned out to be their plan A, because eventually will surpass their income. So yeah. What else do you share there? Yeah, and just I love the way you say, this piece of pie is available for anyone out there. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's the beauty of this digital era, something that our parents didn't have that opportunity. The only option for them was either to work, or if they start a business, it will be with hard work to be able to build that business. But now we're in a digital era where it's available to anyone, so we can be and create that lifestyle that we want, thanks to that digital era. We have that global online community because of that, because we have the global reach. um, that thing that we used to think before, like only rich people can become millionaire, that's the thing of the past. Anyone can become a millionaire because of the digital era that we have now. So in fact, when I started in 2023, I mentioned in other lives, our Wednesday mastermind, which is a training that we have for the entire community, it used to be called Wednesday Mastermind, but now it's called Millionaire Mastermind. And the reason why it's called Millionaire Mastermind is because there's more than one person in our community that are millionaires. So that's why. So that's the potential, just to give you an idea of the potential of this. Um, so yeah, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the third question. Okay, so now that you're mentoring others while being present for your family, what's one unexpected blessing or shift you have experienced that makes you say, I'm glad that I started this? I'm so glad that I started this.
Sandy, um, if there's one thing I love the most about this journey, is hearing people share their journey.
Mm-hmm.
When they share how this digital business has transformed their lives, it always reminds me of why I started. Because I started because I wanted a change.
Mm-hmm.
And after seeing that, initially, like you said, people come into this community wanting to just make 500, 1,000. And I was not different. I just wanted that extra income. Let me just have something coming in. I was not prepared for the transformation, the personal growth, the mindset shift. I wasn't prepared for all of those things. I wasn't prepared to be a mentor. I just wanted to come in and be mentored, you know. But I have learned on this journey to be a better leader. So I would say prior to this time, I've always been a follower. Just go to my regular job, do what you ask me to do, go back home, get paid. But now I've learned to work for myself, build for myself, set my own goals, set my targets, and build a community for my own self. And because we have, or as Africans in diaspora, we have similar challenges. It was more like the blind leading the blind. All we knew was juggling multiple jobs, A lot of people really don't know that there are other ways they can earn. So I like to be that bearer of good news, the one that is coming to tell them, look, there is more to life than juggling jobs. There's more to life than sacrificing time with your family. So I'm glad about my journey. I'm so excited. I said yes at the time I did, because it made, now I realize that there were destinies tied to me. There were people waiting for me to say yes, so
Mhm.
that they can also step in. There were those who would not have heard about this opportunity if I had not taken that positive step. If I had not believed in myself. You cannot mentor somebody else when you don't believe in your own self. So the growth, the phases I have gone through to become who I am today, and to be able to influence those that I am mentoring, it gives me so much satisfaction. Now I feel very fulfilled, because it's like you're finally living your purpose, your dream,
Mhm.
you know. And what is better than doing something that gives you fulfillment and getting paid for it, you know? So
Yeah.
I am raising a community of young African women in diaspora chasing their dreams while being present for their family, while being present for their kids, to be able to raise their kids the way that they want to instill those values in them by themselves, not somebody else doing that for you, and still getting paid. So yes, it's been an amazing journey, and I love the fact that I have to keep growing, because I cannot pour from an empty jar. So I have to keep building myself to be able to build my dream, my team. And yeah, I am so grateful to God for giving me this opportunity.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I totally believe what you say, You need to, in order to be a better leader, we have to always keep learning, because otherwise we stay behind, and we stay at the same level. So you always have to be ahead, to be able to lead your team. So that means, always keep learning, so you can be able to be a good leader, a good mentor, um, and the other thing that you mentioned is like, um, living with purpose and your dreams, and then I love that, because like when we are mentoring others, like we mentioned that in the previous points, seeing their transformation, when they started, they didn't know how to
Yeah,
use the computer for some of them, so it's totally brand new, and then eventually you see them, they know how to use their computer, they know how to go into Zoom, when we are meeting, how to share the screen, how to do lives, because some of them, like also were, like afraid, but now they are, and then seeing that those changes, those transformations through them, and starting to building that confidence, it's a fulfillment, like you mentioned, it's really rewarding that, what you're doing is, it has a purpose, it's not nothing like a job, like just do the job and that's it,
yeah,
this one has a purpose, because you're impacting lives through
true.
helping others, um and the other thing, I mean, that we're talking about impacting lives in our community, but we also impacting, to giving back to the community. When I say
Mhm.
that, eventually, we want to build, enough financial, um, we want to be very financially stable, that we are going to be able to give back to the community, to give back to
Yeah,
organizations that you believe in, and help them, or or helping, kids in school, that for example, giving them scholarships so they can continue, studying, um things like that, whatever you believe, but you can give back to the community, and that's the other thing, that this business, this journey allows you to be able to impact, not only on people, but also, on the community by giving back. And the other thing that you mentioned, Yes. Many times when we start this journey, we only think about the financial part of it because that's
Yeah,
what we think of. But that's what we're gonna get from this business. But when we start the business and as we go through our journey, we realize that there's more than
what's
just the
more?
financial part. Yes. And those are the first thing that we actually gain from this business. All the knowledge, all the technical skills. Because yes, we some of us, we might have a little bit of technical skill, but there's so much more technical skill here that we learn.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the backstage from the Google ads, how to
Hmm.
what function
Yeah.
has
How
to
to
be.
build an ad.
Yes, that's not that's not easy. Like when I first saw the first ones, I was like, oh, I don't understand anything. So I keep watching it, keep going assisting to those workshops, to understand. And then it started to pick up, like things. But yeah, those are skills that you're gaining. And the thing is, like, this is kind of like going to a university, with the difference is that you're learning and earning.
Exactly. True.
When you go into the university, you're learning, but then you have
You're
to
learning.
you have to pay back after. um so yeah, so that's one of the things that the benefits that we get. And you mentioned, we also work on our mindset. Yes, when we come here, we might some of us might have a little bit stronger mindset. Some of them, they have to work more on their mindset. But even like, I thought that I had a strong mindset, but when I came to this business, that was one of the first lessons that I learned in this journey. That your mindset, you have to feed it all the time, because
True.
otherwise it's gonna fail you in a moment that depending of the setback that you encounter, it might fail you in that moment. That's what happened to me. So that was my first lesson in this journey. So there's a lot of things that you learn as you go on this journey. And I love it because it's like, along the way in this journey, you start to finding yourself. You start to find what are some things that you didn't know that you love, and then finally you find out that you love um, things that you thought that you were not capable of doing it, and now you're capable of doing, like for example, lives. I wanted to do, like, it was my dream was like doing something like this, like interviewing people, but I was like, oh, I'm too shy. But because of this business, now I'm doing it. But
True.
it's all about like building that confidence, start believing in yourself, uh doing self development, growth you know so those are the benefits that we get. And then the other benefits that you get, like for example, you as a mom, your kids are watching you.
Oh
Okay, so
yeah.
you're leaving that legacy, because they're seeing my mom is able to, getting out of her comfort zone. My mom is able to overcome this challenge.
True.
So those things they're watching, and they start building that mindset, that strong mindset. Um, that they know, they if they have dreams, they will go and fight for those dreams. um that before, probably they will, they might not, we don't know, along the way. But because they're watching you, they're learning all those skills through you know and that's the other legacy that you will leave. We also have the financial legacy plan, that where you can pass your business to your kids, but this is the other one that you leave, the way that they are watching you do things that you didn't do before, and now they are watching you doing it, learning new skills. um, like for example, getting out of the comfort zone, overcoming challenges, setbacks, how do you do that? So those things, they're still learning, because
You know, I have my kids pray for my business all the time. Like they hear me pray about my business, and these days they pray. When they pray, they say, God bless mommy's business in Jesus' name. And it's just, you see, those little things that we do. Kids learn very well by just watching and observing what you do and
Yes,
emulating it. So when I hear them saying, God bless mommy's business, I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. At least they know mommy has a business.
yes,
You know, they know that even though I'm present for them, I am chasing something. I'm not giving room for excuses. So that's part of what you're talking about now, that you're leaving a legacy for them to follow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that you cannot give excuses. True.
Yes. Yeah. And we, now that you mentioned that, yeah, we, I also had like other guests that they shared that, their kids, they also know about the business. They mentioned,
Mhm.
oh mom, um now you have to go for this one, for the next milestone. So they,
Yeah.
so yeah, so they start learning about the business. I mean, some of them, like, their kids are once they reach the age, to be able to start doing this business, they join the business too.
Mhm.
So yeah, they get inspired by seeing their mom, doing all the things, so for example, like you were saying, they're praying now for your business too. So that's nice. Let's see what else. uh yeah, I think that's about it, but thank you so much for sharing that. Oh yeah, we have a right to the end of the live.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people's viewers that are watching us right now, they're gonna relate to your story. Especially us, immigrants, that we come to a new country, where it's not easy, to because we don't have the family support. Many times, they come here with a profession, and then they are not able to do that profession. They have to start from the beginning, so it's a lot of things that it gets harder. But now through this online business, they have options that they can do, and that's why we are here, to show that there are options for you available. That like, if you don't watch this, you wouldn't be able to know. Like, like that's like I said, 5 years ago, I was looking for something like this, but I didn't know how to, until I found it, 5 years after. So, if you're watching this is your aha moment, that you find, this online business opportunity. But it's a good business opportunity, because it will give you that flexibility to be able to spend time with your loved ones, um, to be able to be there with your kids, like if you have your kids, like not missing any milestones, and at the same time, building that financial stability while you're still learning and while you're still making an impact. So it really, it's like you are receiving, but you are giving back at the same time, because you're being grateful for what you have received, so you're impacting in other people's life. You're able to impact also back, giving by giving back to the community. So the the rewards of this business is big, because it's not only financial, in the financial part of it. It's a lot of things that you are getting from this business. But we can say we took our leap of faith, us, but now it's your decision. We are showing you what this business can do for you. um, but at the end of the day, you're the one who have to take decision. You're the one who has to reflect on your life and value, what are the things that are important for you, you know um, for example, for Kathy, was her family, to be able to be fully present for her kids. One of the things, that I would say, like, two things that we cannot replace, and like, for me, it's non-negotiable, is, family and my health. Those are things that are very important. And another thing that I want to mention, is, stop thinking about the future. When I say that, it's not that we don't have to think about the future, but we always start making money because we are thinking about the future. But then we forget the present, to live the present. um, and we have to make sure that we make time to be with our loved ones, because we don't know if there's gonna be a future. So we really have to enjoy them now, in the present time. We can plan for the future, but don't forget to live the present. It's very important.
Yeah.
um, we don't realize that until, we see on others people's life, or we see, in our own family. That's when we start like seeing life in a different perspective. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Um, so we want to say thank you to everyone that has watched the live with us today, and also for those catching the replay. And to our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey, for believing in us, and for engaging with our content. If you're on Facebook and you don't follow us, you can follow us up here on the top. So you can follow Kathy's Digital Hub. And then that way you get to know us a little bit more, who we are, what type of content we put in our pages, and also more information about this online business opportunity. If you're watching us from YouTube and you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe to our channel and press that notification bell. And then that way you get notified when we put new content and when we go in live. So that way you keep learning about this online business opportunity. And when you feel ready, and the time is ready, you can, hopefully we can get to see you inside of our community and be part of the global online community. Um,
Sure.
so we also want to say thank you to our guest for today, Kathy, for taking some time of her day, and spending with us, sharing her journey and her story with us. So thank you so much, Kathy, for accepting my
Thanks for having
invitation.
me. Yeah, you're welcome.
Um, we So if you enjoyed this, and then if you are kind of curious, what is this about, and you want to learn more, so here are the three options for you. So option number one, you can put in the comments more info. Option number two, or you can send us a private message. So we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And then the third option, you can register directly into our website. So um, they appear on the screen. So it's workfromhomeachiever.com for
Just
Kathy. And then you see mine there. So you have to register with your name and email address. So we'll send you that email, which will contain two links. So the first one is to register for the live webinar. In North America, it's every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, and in Australia is Wednesday and Friday, correct?
Wednesday and Friday. Yeah.
I think it's 2 a.m.
No,
or 1 a.m.
somewhere around, no, maybe 9 or 9:30. The
Oh
time
yeah,
keeps
because it's
changing, but
different time.
yeah.
Yeah, in Australia they have different time zones. So
Yeah.
yeah, so for some people it's 9 a.m., some people 10 a.m.,
Mm,
9:30 a.m. So
yeah.
um so yeah, so you can catch it on Wednesdays and Friday in Australia. And if you cannot attend to the live webinar, that's not a problem, because that's the second link that you get there is the link to the replay of the live webinar, so you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. In addition to that, we invite you to our private Facebook group, where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so what am I going to find out on the webinar? So on the webinar, you're going to find out how our online business plan works. And also you get the opportunity to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. So if you want to catch the replay from yesterday's live webinar, before tomorrow's live webinar, these were the hosts and panelists for that day. Okay, so we have the host, Jacqueline. She's a retired critical nurse. So she's actually a job quitter. Um, and then our first panelist is Regina. She's a former mental health care worker. We also have Madonna, a registered nurse. We have Sukhbir, operations manager. We have Rosaline, a chef. Aisha, a stay-at-home mom. Jenny, a registered pharmacy technician, and Amali, a certified public accountant. So as you see, we have all different walks of life, but they all have something in common, and that is, they took that leap of faith to change their lives and their families' lives. So there you go. So we have the times here. So uh, we have June 17. Well, it's every Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So we have 9 p.m. 9 p.m. ADT. And then we have June 18, which will be, like the Wednesday, 1
Okay.
a.m. UK, 2 a.m. CST, 8 a.m. Southeast Asia, 10 a.m. EDT. I
That's
think
10
that's
a.m.
Australia, right?
Australian time. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then 12 p.m. New Zealand time. So there
Time.
you go. So if you're catching the replay before tomorrow's live webinar, the replay has subtitles in several languages, and our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages. That's Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. So there you go. So now you know. Um, if you want to learn how to start your online business, all you have to do is just register in any of the websites or put in the comments more info or send us a private message and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Saying that, we want to say thank you to everyone. And we want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Wednesday for those who are on Wednesday, and a happy and blessed Thursday for those who are on Thursday. You are on
In the
Thursday.
future. We're in the future.
Yes. um, and then we also want to wish everyone a happy rest of the week ahead. And then we also want to say thank you again to our guest, Kathy, for being here with us and sharing her journey and story. Um, And then stay tuned for tomorrow for another topic and another guest. So thank you everyone for watching. God bless you all, and see you tomorrow. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.